Here we go. Welcome back to another session, Heart Driven Entrepreneurs. I am so excited to be back with you today in another summit. And today we're going to talk about how to create a life and business legacy on purpose. I have an amazing lineup of speakers for you today, and they're all going to share their topic, their area of expertise to really help you align your life and business. I think it's really important to intentionally do that, as we know with the age of the distractions that are going on around us. It's important for us to be intentional. So we not only do busy work, but we are very intentional in the meaning and meaningful in the work that we do day to day in the world. So I have a couple of new audiences that are joining us today, and I'm so blessed to be able to serve other communities here as well with this summit. So I will do a quick introduction of myself. I'm a life and business growth consultant, Alona Lapari, and I help heart-led service-based entrepreneurs maximize their branding, marketing, sales systems, and teams legacy to build wealth through business to consumer and business to business client opportunities and positively impacting their communities worldwide. One of the most important things that I'm so passionate about is always helping entrepreneurs make a bigger impact. And I feel very blessed to be able to do that daily through my day-to-day work. So I will be inviting all my amazing speakers on stage today. And I will start with my first speaker. She's actually one of our community experts, Corinne Rodden, and she helps people align one of the most important areas I feel in our life, which is our health. So Corinne, welcome to the summit today. Feel free to give us a little background of who you are and also share the topic that you feel will add value to our audience today.
Oh, sure. Hi, Alona and everyone. So happy to be here. I'm a holistic health coach, and what started me on this path was over 40 years ago, actually, when I was away at college. I was always healthy, I always exercised, I was athletic. And then for that small duration of time, I had gained weight. And so when I left college, I, said this is very uncomfortable. So I went on my journey within, and I got back on track to eating healthy. And I also had became a semi-vegetarian at the time. I stopped eating meat and chicken. It was heavy on my stomach. Just fish, vegetables, just regular good healthy stuff, and not eating late at night. And also started, to exercise. I started with jogging, and then later on that became brisk walking. As you know, as some of you may know, if you live in New York, I commuted to Manhattan for 26 years. So I would come out of Penn Station and have do a half hour of brisk walking in the morning to work and a half hour in the early evening. And instead of going to the gym after work, because it got a little tiring, I go during lunch. So I got it all out of the way during the day, which is great. And another method that I have incorporated was meditation, meditation mindset, getting in that right frame of mind to do it, to accomplish what I wanted, which is for anyone to do anything. And I found it difficult at first. So I started with 10 minutes, as like with anything else, to get into the habit of doing. I started with 10 minutes and then built it into, built up 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and 4 times a week. Just like with the exercise, just 4 times a week. Doesn't have to be 7 times a week. Doesn't have to be all day, 2 or 3 hours. That's not what it is. It's just that, 30 minutes a day. For me, I like walking outside. I love being outside in the fresh air. So that's like, I like to do that for an hour or 2 30-minute segments. And it's just so refreshing. So with meditating, you could do it a few different ways. You could start, I started with listening to soft music. you know, to relax me because I wasn't, I was overthinking a lot. And it also helps release a lot of anxiety and stress. And so over time, it just becomes natural over time when you're doing it consistently every week. Just like with the eating, you incorporate those eating habits. It's not a diet. It's not like I dieted. I just changed the way I ate, and went back to my good eating healthy habits, being off the path for a few years, cutting out certain things, knowing the right foods to eat, and what not to eat, and, just getting back on track. And like with exercise too, it doesn't have to be 7 times a week, all day. You just incorporate that short period of time, being consistent with it. And the same with meditating. So forward up till, a couple of years ago, um, well, from a couple of years ago, I started online actually last year, but after 2008, I was in corporate, for work, and I had to start doing different things, which were more entrepreneurial things. And 2013, I got into a Facebook group, and really loved the mentor, and they were all writing books. So I said, okay, well, let me, let me write on personal development. I love personal development. And he had mentioned to me, he says, well, that's the hardest thing to teach people. Could you write about something else? I said, well, I love holistic health. So my journey started back then, and I did get it published 2 years ago, and just thought it'd be a great idea to incorporate all the holistic modalities in a book. So I have them all merged in a book. And then came online, last year.
Yeah, I love that, Corinne. So you have an amazing book, and your approach to health is really holistic. And I do find that just like any other area of our lives, it's one of those things that become lifestyle options, and you develop habits around. And I know that's also your approach. So I highly appreciate you sharing that. I love that you have a book. What is the title of the book, and where is it that people can find it? And where is it that you also serve your community with great content around this important area?
Sure. The name of the book is How to Look Younger Naturally, and it could be found on Amazon. And I also have a Facebook group called Health and Vitality for Entrepreneurs. I'm also on LinkedIn.
All right, perfect. So there you go. Thank you so much, Corinne, for everything that you had to share with us, and starting off with this really important area. I say it everywhere I get a chance. Our health is our wealth, especially as entrepreneurs. Unless we have our health, we can't really build wealth and the impact that we want to make. So it is so connected. Awesome. I will be going to my other speaker next, Joanna Godinez. Joanna, thank you so much for finding time to come on our summit today, and can't wait to hear a little bit more regarding who you are, and also what is it that you feel compelled to share with us today that you think will help our audience of entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Ilona. It is a pleasure to be here today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the yoga philosophy. One of the things that has really driven and changed how I view life and my business are the teachings of yoga. Most people think of yoga as a physical practice, but the true meaning of yoga is that yoga is how you understand your mind and how you learn to control the fluctuations of your mind, so that you're not consistently having conversations and saying things to yourself that don't serve you or don't serve other people when it comes to judgment to others and things like that. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about is in terms of our business. A lot of times we get stuck in what we think is right for our business, and we get really focused on the idea that we have in our head. The benefit of you releasing some of what you think your mind is telling you is that you allow kind of that divine guidance to come in and help you understand when decisions are right and where they're wrong. And meditation, as we just discussed, is definitely something that helps you get in tune. So what yoga does first is it teaches you to look at yourself and understand who you are and how the way that you see the world is shaping the experiences that you're having in the world. Based on that, you can start to understand your thought patterns and you can start to really drive the way that you think. Because when we're wanting to create something in this world, our energy and our thoughts and our actions and our words, everything needs to be cohesive and moving into the direction of the things that we want to create. So because the yoga philosophy is something that most people have a misunderstanding about, most of the way that we do our teaching is through a program called ELM. And ELM is an evolutionary life mapping system. And what we do is we help you uncover sort of like, why are you the way that you are? What led you? What conditioning? What DNA? What traumas? What past experiences? What decisions? What actions? What words have led you to create the life that you're living? And why are you anything but happy in that life? And once we start uncovering those really, really rooted causes of how you are showing up in life, then we can start addressing the things that you can incorporate to, for example, become healthy or to move past some trauma, like losing a child, for example. I deal a lot with women who have had major losses in their lives and helping them sort of understand how to identify less with what happens and more with what they can do about what happened, which the action itself, we have very little control about many of the things that happen to us, but we do have control of over how we react. And understanding our thought patterns helps us see how our reactions kind of develop the life that we're living and moving forward. And we also have a yoga school, so we help train yoga teachers that understand the yoga philosophy at a deeper level. And you can connect with us either if you want to ever become a yoga teacher or if you want to come to a retreat and really understand how to incorporate ways to create a more holistic, more aligned, and more peaceful state of life, which of course helps in any business.
Absolutely. I love how it's so much more deeper than yoga. It's really about using that as a channel. Just it's how I feel about entrepreneurship. It's just the channel, the tool that we are using to, do the work that we love. So I love that you shared that about yoga as well. It's so much deeper than that. And yoga is that tool that we can use to tap into our inner self and really align our life and business on purpose. So I love it. Thank you so much, Joanna. And where is it that people can find out a little more information regarding serving them through your content? Where is it that people can continue this conversation with you?
Absolutely. You can always find me on social media at bay_lifestyle_PR, www.bay-lifestyle.com, or you can straight up just call me, 815-501-5070. We'll love to hear from you.
All right, love that. And don't worry, you don't have to memorize all of these different ways to continue the conversations with our amazing speakers. They will all be listed and tagged underneath this summit. So it's easy. We all like links, so we can just continue the conversation. And that's actually what I always encourage. It's always about building relationships. So follow one another, the speakers amongst one another, but also the audience that is listening to us. Start continuing those journeys and start adding, in whatever ways we have chosen to serve the world. Let's add value to one another's lives, and only beautiful things will always come out of that. So thanks again, Joanna. Beautiful. I'm going to my next speaker, Eric Yailen. I hope I said your last name correctly, Eric. Thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to learn a little bit more regarding you and what you would love to share with us today.
Well, a little bit about me and my journey. I've been interested in marketing communications for a long, long time. Started back when I was in high school, and I've had a lot of great experiences throughout the years. But, when I was in college, I was also intrigued with technology. And so when I finished my undergrad, I went and bought my very first computer. That was in 1984. My first job out of college, I was a regional marketing director for a company called Feld Entertainment, which most people might know as either Ringling Brothers Circus or Walt Disney's World on Ice. And I was on the road 300 days a year promoting those shows across the country. And I was of 40 regional marketing directors, I was the only one that was computerized. And I very quickly saw the value of automation because even though I was assigned more markets than all of my fellow promoters, I actually spent more time on vacation than most of them because I could get my work done a lot quicker. They would be typing up all of their engagement letters, on an old-fashioned typewriter, one at a time. And I basically would have templated documents where I could just fill in the blanks, get them done. So I was getting like 12 weeks off a year. So I saw the value. Now, after that, I went to work for a small software company, and they had developed some great software for running golf tournaments. And I sold the software to the PGA of America. And with them, we actually developed the very first customer relationship management system for all of their regional offices. So that was before there was such a thing as a CRM. This was back in 1991. Then in 1995, I started my own software company, and we created the very first Windows-based club management system for upscale fitness clubs, member clubs, and corporate fitness centers. And I had a lot of Fortune 100 companies as my clients. Eventually, I got tired of the computer business, and I went to work for a small golf association. And there I really came to the realization that, a lot of businesses, they don't know how to manage their data. And in fact, the interesting thing is, they had 6 departments, and they all basically were working with the same data, but they all were working off of disparate spreadsheets. Now, I can tell you to this day, I can go into million-dollar businesses, and they're still trying to function off of spreadsheets. And they're leaving so much potential money on the table because they're not organizing and managing their data properly. So while I was with these golf associations, again, I saw what we needed to do. First, I would create peer-to-peer databases so that they would at least have shared data. And then I said, they really need a CRM system. And this was when they were first starting. And I got the United States Golf Association to fund an initiative for all state and regional golf associations. Well, my last position in the world of golf, I was the CEO of the Southern Nevada Golf Association, and then I got really sick, got stage 3C cancer, had to drop out of the workforce completely, ended up in a coma, got stage 4 kidney disease, and I actually stopped working until last year when, fortunately, I had some good treatments from some doctors, and I could come back and do things again. And this is really what I wanted to do now, is I wanted to create a life and business legacy with a purpose. And that purpose is to help small business entrepreneurs maximize their potential. So what I did is I created the Megafluence method, and that's a 4-part framework that every business needs if they want to scale and grow and be successful. Now, what are those 4 steps? Well, the first thing is you need to have a solid brand. The brand is the foundation. Think of your house. If your house doesn't have the right foundation, you can build a lot of walls, you can build a lot of rooms, but eventually that roof is going to collapse. So you need to have a solid brand, and so I'm very involved with brand strategy. The second thing you need to do is you need to know who your ideal customer is and how to communicate with them. The third thing you need standard operating procedures, because it's great to have a procedure in your head, but ultimately if you're going to grow, you're going to have to hire people, and they don't know your procedures. So unless you can easily go and say, here's what I want you to do, and here's how you're going to go do it, it's going to be very difficult to grow and scale. So you won't even be able to add that first VA to help you out. And then, now those things, by the way, those are needed in any business, regardless of the time in the world. In the 1800s, before there were computers, those were standard practices that you still needed. But now, today, if you really want to grow and scale, what do you need? You need automation. And the one thing that most businesses struggle with seems to be technology. And that's my specialty. And so what I do is I help people end the confusion that they have when it comes to technology. And also, oftentimes, because of that confusion, they have excessive expenses that they really don't need to have. I can tell you, I go into a lot of businesses where the people are spending, between $500 and $1,500 a month just to send out emails or to do text messages or all sorts of other things, and it's unwieldy. And I can usually go into a business, give them a better solution, and they can spend far, far less. So that's basically what I do. I help to end that confusion. And if people are interested in learning how to build a successful business with marketing automation, they can get my free guide. I've given you, Ilona, the link for that you can share with people. They can also reach me on Facebook or LinkedIn at Eyaillen, it's Eyaillen. Just message me there. I can also send you the link from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric, for sharing that. And you said so many things that we have both in common around systems and automation. I always say that a business can never grow beyond you if we don't set some systems and have a team around us. And it's really important to use the tools that, to create those systems so that we can automate tasks that we're probably just doing over and over and over. Otherwise, we're just going to be tied to our business forever. And that is not why we started our businesses, most of us. But we end up doing that if we don't understand how to do that. And definitely for more seasoned entrepreneurs, that is usually the area of focus. Once you scale past with a great business model, you want to start setting some systems and get a team around you that will help support your vision. So really, really cool work. And thanks so much for sharing that here with us today as well. And yeah, I will definitely include the link to Eric's toolkit. Sounds amazing. And I'm also going to check it out. I am a tool collector because I work with businesses. So, there's a tool that does something faster, you always have my attention because I'm a process person. So the easier the process can, the more you can streamline the process, the more you can teach it to someone and then move on to other things and create more impact if you really feel that you are the visionary of the business, right? And you are the one that wants to work on meaningful activities that give you fulfillment, because it's even in business, it's so easy to kind of just get carried away and do so many other things that are not even aligned with your abilities, your gifts, and all of that. So it all comes together. Thank you so much, Eric. My next speaker is going to be Valerie Fisher. Valerie, thanks so much for coming on, and can't wait to hear a little bit more regarding what you have to share with us today. You have the stage.
Yes, so I'm actually joining you today from Manila, Philippines. It is 12:30 in the morning here. So what I want to talk about today is how during the pandemic, I lost my dream job as a chief marketing officer. So I'm kind of like Eric. My marketing is really my background, but it led me to my purpose. So losing my dream job, but then it led me to my purpose, which is, the topic of our discussion for today. And how was I able to do that? First of all, when you encounter something like that, an adversity, you have to acknowledge and honor your feelings. That's the first and foremost, because you will not be able to really move on fully if you do not do that. So you have to acknowledge, sit with it. Be like me, for example, I grieved, I was ashamed, I was embarrassed, I deactivated Facebook for a while because I knew that I needed to do that. But then you stop. After giving yourself that time to grieve and to really sit with your feelings. The second thing that I did was to take an inventory of what I did in the past and what I was good at. Because remember, at the start of the pandemic, specifically, people were losing their jobs. Here in the Philippines, I was part of the statistics of 5 million people who lost their jobs here at the start of the pandemic, and no one was hiring. I needed to find out what else I can do to help other people at that time and to also help myself, because I knew nobody was hiring. So I put together, I have a neuro-linguistic programming certification. I have an e-commerce site. and we're running business locally made products, so like these earrings, and I have 20 years experience in marketing. I put them all together and I came up with my own trademark marketing method, which I call brain science selling. So in inventory, it's not your title, it's not what they call you. It is what you actually did in the past, what you were good at, what you enjoyed. Those things are what you take an inventory of. And then after that, I networked. I asked around, I told my friend, if you need a speaker, if you need somebody to help you, because I also wanted to help those that lost their jobs like me. I know where they're coming from. I know the feeling, and I wanted to share what I know. So I started, giving out free trainings in the beginning, and then after that, they started paying, and it that eventually led to my business right now. And finally, what I did was to really act like my future self. I did not particularly have a training background, like nothing. It was just that I like talking to people. I like explaining and educating. I like, convening. I like presenting, but I was not a trained speaker. I wasn't a trainer. But I put myself in my future self and acted like I am a trainer. And, eventually my body believed me because that's what my mind was telling me. The mind is like a GPS system, and then the body followed. And that's how I got here. So now I help new online entrepreneurs increase their revenue using brain science selling.
Hmm. I love that concept, brain science selling, because there is so much. I also study neuroscience a lot, so there's so much behind that, and kind of doing it your own natural way, and finding a rhythm in the way that we think about sales, and unwash old programming, because selling is one of the master skills of business. I mean, it's marketing and sales, I would say, is the heart of the business.
Yes.
So understanding how to do it in your own authentic way, and also understanding the brain science behind your ideal audience is also really, really important, because how can you serve people that you're not even aware? So where are their blocks? What is the messaging that you need to give them, so that you can take them from where they are to what is it that they want to go? So you are just that channel that does that. So I love that you have put together, similarly to what I say, a lot of tools, a lot of life experience, but you're cooking your own recipe. You've put together your own framework that you feel really, gives people results in that area. So love that as well. And Valerie, where is it that you create amazing serving content where that people can and start continuing the conversation with you?
Yes, so my website is www.valeriepfisher.net. I am on LinkedIn, that's Valerie P. Fisher, and also on TikTok, Valerie P. Fisher. So follow me on TikTok and connect with me on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Go follow each other around for sure. And love to hear a little bit more regarding that. It's such a fascinating subject. And now that we're understanding the science is backing up a lot of stuff that we thought was, ooh, I think this is becoming so much more important for people to understand. So love the work you do. Thanks so much for sharing that. Awesome. And now I'm coming on to my last but not least speaker, Cindy Green Gertsch. And Cindy's going to introduce herself to us as well and share with us her topic that relates to how to create a life and business on purpose.
Yeah, thank you, and I'm super glad to be here. And this is such a great topic to be speaking about. As you said, my name is Cindy Gertsch, and I have been in the marketing and communications world for 25 years. For the last 3.5 years, I've been the owner of a award-winning boutique marketing agency that is really focused on strategic marketing. And I have clients that really range. We run the gamut from professional athletes to startups from multi-billion-dollar developers to nonprofits. And that's kind of really where I'm sort of taking a different approach to this, how to create a life and business legacy on purpose, and where we heard a lot about sort of obviously having your business continue, your business growth and whatnot by programs and all of that good stuff. I'm taking a different view of this, and I'm looking at it this from how to leave a legacy from a philanthropic point of view. That is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I personally myself have founded 3 nonprofit organizations, and I'm very involved in several others as we speak. I, 4 years ago, found out that I have actually a very rare vascular disease called fibromuscular dysplasia. As a result, I have 2 brain aneurysms and a long list of a laundry list of things I cannot do, a laundry list of medicines I take, and it's really completely changed my life. So I am I feel the reason I got that disease was because I'm now a spokesperson, very loud about what this disease is, raising money, which can obviously go ultimately, which goes towards research and finding a cure for this rare disease. So I feel like it's kind of my entire life of being a philanthropist since I was really young and doing Relay for Lives for the American Cancer Society till, just years ago when I founded my 3rd nonprofit to where I am today, being, this loud voice for FMD, all is really helping to leave a legacy for, not myself, but really my business as well, because everything I do is tied back to my business, New Marketing Group, which all falls under Cindy Gersh Marketing as a whole. So my business gives 5% annual proceeds to FMDSA, as well as another nonprofit that I choose at the end of the year. And so I really feel like giving back, doing good. And whether that is, not everybody can do it financially. I really understand that. But whether that is volunteering, choosing a day that your business closes down and you go to Meals on Wheels and deliver food, or you volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, just doing something as a business to really show your support in the community or with a nonprofit or a charity that you believe in. And then obviously there's things like Giving Tuesday, which is once a year, and maybe doing something around that, a fundraiser, something around that. And since all of us have really been talking about marketing and we're all somehow involved with marketing, we really should know how to do that, right? We should have strategies developed. We really understand how to sell things, if you will. So getting out there and really selling the philanthropic part of it and raising funds or just awareness about a charity or two that we believe in, I think very strongly leaves a business legacy, if you will. So that is something that my company, New Marketing Group, which again, as I said, falls under Cindy Gersh Marketing, really stands behind. I'm traveling now the country to speak about philanthropy and FMDSA, which is again the charity that I strongly back, my business strongly backs, and just talking about what it takes to be involved in charities, particularly as an entrepreneur, a business owner who can be vocal, has a lot of sort of outlets, things like this, networking, going out on our social media websites or whatnot, just to raise awareness, if nothing else, for a charity really of our choice. So I feel very strongly that obviously there's tons of ways that businesses can leave a legacy with, financially and all of that good stuff. Personally, I feel like for myself, the way that I want to be known and leaving a legacy for my business, and even more so with my children, is really leaving this legacy of what I am giving back to charities, to communities that I am involved in. So I really feel like that's really important, again. And for me, if anybody, sort of my call to action, if anybody is interested or wants to know anything about how to start a nonprofit, it's not as hard as it really seems. Like I said, I have founded myself personally 3 charities that all 3 of them are thriving right now. I love looking back at them and seeing how well they're doing. And so I would love to sit down and talk to anyone who's really interested in starting a charity or a nonprofit, but they might be a little bit worried, like, oh God, this seems like such a daunting task, when it really isn't. So if anybody has questions or comments or concerns about how do we go about starting a nonprofit or a charity, please hit me up and I would love to speak with you about that.
Cindy, you're such in the right place with that. And I'm glad that we fixed that audio at the beginning, because this is such an important message that you have to share. A lot of us purpose-driven entrepreneurs, we understand that in order for us to be fulfilled, we need to contribute. We get to contribute, let's say, right? We don't need to do anything that is not our choice, but we get to contribute. And that's personally why I also found entrepreneurship as that channel, so that I can create the income, so that I can put that back, towards causes that I really feel strongly about, whether it was my personal life experience or, a cause that affected someone close by that I really care about. So I think it's really, really cool that you shared that with us today, because I also personally feel that leaving a legacy behind is about the meaningful work that you've done, and also how are you giving back, right? And all our life experience, even our challenges, if we use them in a positive way, and just simply as you just shared, just you can't contribute financially, but just use social media to kind of bring awareness to something. It will absolutely create an impact and help someone else that might be in a situation of need. So I love your powerful message there as well. And yeah, as we wrap up our summit today, I mean, there you have it. So much wisdom in this room, so many amazing entrepreneurs. I thank you all for everything that you share with us today. And I would love to end with a moment of inspiration or more wisdom, I guess. So with a final message from each one of you before we part, what is that one final message that you want to leave our audience with that you have learned from your school of life? So I could start with Corinne again. Corinne?
Sure. I would say do what you love in life and finish what you start.
Beautiful message. Joanna?
I would say discover who you are, discover what your true idea of success is, and know that we leave this earth with only the experiences that we've had. So make sure you create and have a lot of amazing ones.
Powerful. Eric?
Well, I'm a big believer in the idea of servant leadership. And that's basically, it's more important to give, and you're going to gain in the end because people value that you're willing to give.
Absolutely. Amazing. Valerie?
Have the courage to take the first step. You're never gonna really know unless you try. So, just try it.
Yeah. You never know what's on the other side. Absolutely. And Cindy?
It kind of goes with my with what I was talking about. A quote by Anne Frank: "No one has ever become poor from giving."
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. You will find this Summit stream live inside our Facebook group, and you'll find all the speakers in there as well. Life School, Ilona Lupari. And I'm doing these summits weekly now because I find so much fulfillment from creating such spaces where people can just come, connect, share their message with the world. So if you would like to come and you have something to share, there's always going to be an open door for you here as well. So thank you so much to all the beautiful speakers, and I will see you in one of the other upcoming summits. Bye for now. Love to offer you a free high-level strategy call where I would love to hold the space and really connect the dots for you in your life and business alignment, from branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team, and really have you walk away with insight on what you might be missing and what are the gaps you are currently experiencing in your business between where you are and what you're trying to achieve, so that you can get more income and make more impact with the work that you are doing in the world. Let me know if you'd like to connect, and I'll be more than happy to have a call and a beautiful conversation together to see if we can support you further with your goals.